They told me the Enigma Prince would tear me apart during his RUT. I smiled and said, "Good. I've always wanted to see what my insides look like." That shut them up real fast. My name is Rowan Castellan, and I'm about to do the stupidest thing anyone's ever done in the Colorado Pack territory. Volunteer to stay locked in a room with an Enigma during his RUT. An Enigma, not an alpha, not some garden variety dominant who gets a little growly and possessive when the moon's full. No, I'm talking about the rarest, most dangerous dynamic in existence. A walking biological weapon who could snap my spine like a pretzel stick if the mood strikes. And everyone thinks I'm a beta. That's the only reason they're even letting me volunteer. Betas don't trigger RUT aggression. Betas don't have sense that drive Enigmas into a frenzy. The betas are safe, boring, unremarkable. I'm none of those things, but they don't know that. And if I play this right, they never will. You're serious about this? I glance up from the waiver I'm pretending to read. 23 pages of legal jargon that essentially says if you die, it's not our problem. And meet the eyes of Marcus Verne, the pack's head of security. He's a brick wall of a beta with a scar that runs from his temple to his jaw. And right now, he's looking at me like I've just offered to juggle chainsaws blindfolded. Dead serious, I say, flashing him my best, I'm totally not lying smile. Someone's got to do it, right? Someone doesn't got to do it. Marcus crosses his arms and I hear his leather jacket creak. We can sedate him, keep him isolated. We've done it before. And how'd that work out? His jaw tightens. Ah, yeah, that's what I thought. I set the waiver down and lean back in my chair, stretching my legs out in front of me. The pack headquarters smells like old wood and anxiety, a combination that's been burning in my nose since I walked in here 20 minutes ago. Outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, the Colorado Rockies loom like silent sentries, their peaks dusted with early autumn snow. Beautiful, cold, unforgiving. Kind of like the guy I'm about to spend 3 days locked up with. Look, I say, injecting just enough casualness into my tone to sound confident, but not cocky. I've been his personal attendant for 6 months. I know his moods. I know his triggers. I know how to keep him calm. Calm, Marcus repeats flatly. You think you can keep an Enigma calm during a RUT? I don't think. I know. That's not arrogance. That's fact. Because here's the thing nobody knows about Rowan Castellan, the unassuming beta who serves breakfast and changes bedsheets in the East Wing. I'm not just good at reading emotions. I can control them. Not in some big, flashy, mind control kind of way. It's subtle. A nudge here, a whisper there. I can take the sharp edge off someone's anger, smooth out their fear, even dial down a spike of aggression before it turns into something ugly. It's not magic. It's not some pack gift or ancient bloodline power. It's just me. And it's the only reason I'm still alive. Marcus studies me for a long, uncomfortable moment, his eyes narrowing like he's trying to see through my skull. Then he sighs deep and heavy and pulls a key card from his jacket pocket. You're insane, he mutters, sliding the card across the desk. But you're also the only person who's volunteered in 3 years, so congratulations. You're officially the sacrificial lamb. I pick up the key card, feeling the cold weight of it in my palm. I prefer heroic volunteer, but sure, sacrificial lamb works. Marcus doesn't laugh. He just stands, his chair scraping against the floor. RUT starts at sundown. You've got 4 hours to get your affairs in order. Say your goodbyes, write a will. Whatever. Cheerful. I'm serious, kid. His voice drops, and for the first time I see something other than irritation in his eyes. It looks almost like concern. The prince isn't like other Enigmas. He's different, unstable. The last person who tried to stay with him, I know. I cut him off before he can finish because I don't need to hear it. I already know what happened to the last volunteer. Everyone does. I'll be fine. Marcus stares at me for another beat, then shakes his head and walks toward the door. You're either the bravest person I've ever met or the dumbest. I haven't decided which yet. Why not both? He pauses at the threshold, glancing back over his shoulder. One more thing. Once you're in, you're in. No emergency extraction, no bailout. The doors stay locked until the rut breaks. 72 hours minimum. Got it. And Rowan? His voice softens, just a fraction. If you survive this, drinks are on me. Then he's gone, the door clicking shut behind him. I sit there for a moment, staring at the key card in my hand. 72 hours locked in a room with Cade Thorne, the Enigma Prince of the Colorado Territory. The guy whose scent alone makes grown alphas flinch. The guy who's so dangerous, so unpredictable, that even his own pack keeps him isolated in the East Wing, like some kind of beautiful feral ghost. I've seen him, of course, served him meals, changed his sheets, watched him from the corner of my eye as he sat by the window, staring out at the mountains like he was waiting for something that would never come. He's stunning. In a way that feels almost wrong. Sharp jaw, storm gray eyes, black hair that falls just a little too perfectly across his forehead. And a scent, God, his scent, like pine smoke and winter rain, so potent it lingers in the air long after he's left the room. He's never looked at me. Not really. I'm just the beta servant, the nobody, and that's exactly how I need to keep it. I stand, pocketing the keycard, in and head for the door. 4 hours until sundown. 4 hours until I walk into that room and pray my secret doesn't get me killed. 4 hours fly by faster than I expect. I spend the first hour in my quarters, a cramped room in the staff wing that smells like lavender, detergent, and regret, packing a bag with things I might need. Clothes, water bottles, protein bars, a first aid kit, because optimism only goes so far. The second hour, I'm in the commissary, pretending to eat while the other staff members stare at me like I've grown a second head. "You're really doing this?" asks Lila, one of the Omega cooks. She's got kind eyes and flour on her apron, and right now she looks like she's attending my funeral. "Yep." "But why?" I shrug, stabbing at a piece of chicken that tastes like cardboard. "Someone has to." "That's not a reason. That's a death wish." Maybe she's right, but I don't say that. Instead, I give her my most reassuring smile, the one that says everything's fine, definitely not spiraling, and change the subject. The third hour, I'm standing outside the East Wing, staring at the reinforced steel door that leads to the Enigma Prince's quarters. This is it. No turning back now. I swipe the keycard, the lock disengages with a heavy clunk, and the door swings open on silent hinges. The hallway beyond is dim, lit only by soft, recessed lights that cast long shadows on the walls. Everything here feels muted, hushed, like the building itself is holding its breath. I step inside and the door closes behind me with a finality that makes my stomach twist. 72 hours. I can do this. I have to do this. And the hallway opens into a large common area, part living room, part cage. There's a couch, a bookshelf, a kitchenette, everything you'd need to live comfortably, except for the bars on the windows and the second reinforced door at the far end. That's where he is. I can feel him before I see him. The air is different here, thicker, charged like the moment before a lightning strike. And his scent, God, his scent. It hits me like a freight train, pine smoke and winter rain, just like always. But now there's something else underneath, something raw and wild and dangerous. It crawls into my lungs and wraps around my ribs, and I have to fight the urge to step back. This is what pre-RUT smells like on an Enigma. And it's so much stronger than I expected. I forced myself to breathe through it, to center myself, and to reach for that place inside me where my power lives. The quiet, steady hum that lets me nudge emotions, smooth out rough edges. Calm. I need to project calm. I cross the room and knock on the inner door. "Your Highness?" My voice comes out steadier than I feel. "It's Rowan. I'm here to assist you through your rut." Silence, then a low voice, rough, like gravel scraped over silk. "Leave." My heart does a stupid little flip, and I hate it. "Can't do that," I say, keeping my tone light. "Already signed the waiver. Pretty sure if I leave now, Marcus will hunt me down and kill me himself. Another pause. Longer this time. You're a beta. That's what my paperwork says. Then you're an idiot. I can't help it. I laugh. It bursts out of me before I can stop it, echoing in the quiet space. Yeah, hey, I get that a lot. I'm serious. His voice drops lower, edged with something that might be frustration or concern. Hard to tell. You don't know what you're walking into. I know exactly what I'm walking into. You're going into RUT. You need someone to make sure you don't destroy yourself or this room. I'm that someone. You'll regret it. Probably, but I'm still coming in. I don't wait for permission. I swipe the second key card and the door unlocks. The moment I step inside, the world narrows to a single point. Him. Cade Thorne is standing by the window, backlit by the dying sunlight. He's shirtless, and I can see the tension in every line of his body, the hard cut of his shoulders, the way his hands are clenched into fists at his sides. His black hair is messy, like he's been running his fingers through it. And when he turns to look at me, those storm gray eyes lock onto mine with an intensity that steals the air from my lungs. He's beautiful, and he looks absolutely wrecked. You should go, he says again, but there's no force behind it this time. Just exhaustion. I set my bag down by the door and take a step closer. Not too close, just enough to show I'm not afraid. I'm not going anywhere. His jaw tightens. You don't understand. When the RUT hits, I won't be able to control myself. I'll hurt you. You won't. You don't know that. Actually, I do. He stares at me, and for a moment I see something flicker behind his eyes. Confusion. Maybe even hope. Then it's gone, buried under layers of control that are already starting to crack. What's your name? He asks, his voice quieter now. Rowan. Rowan, he repeats. He like he's testing the shape of it, then softer. You should be terrified of me. I meet his gaze head on and let a slow smile curve my lips. Your Highness, I say, injecting just enough sass to cut through the tension. I've been serving you breakfast for 6 months. If I was going to be terrified, it would have happened by now. His eyes widen, just a fraction, and then, against all odds, he laughs. It's short, rough, but it's real. And in that moment, the air between us shifts. The sun dips below the mountains, and his scent explodes. It slams into me like a physical force, so thick and overwhelming I actually stumble back a step. Pine smoke and winter rain, but now it's laced with something primal, something that makes every nerve in my body light up like a live wire. Oh, hell, this is bad. This is really, really bad. Because I'm not supposed to react to this. Betas don't react to RUT sin. They're immune, safe. That's the whole point. But my heart is racing, my skin is flushed, and there's a pull low in my stomach that I absolutely cannot acknowledge right now. I reach for my power, that quiet hum inside me, and shove it outward like a shield. Calm, project, calm, dial it down. Cade's eyes snap to mine, and I watch as his pupils blow wide, nearly swallowing the gray. His chest is heaving, every muscle in his body going taut. Get out. His voice is barely recognizable. Deeper, rougher. Get out now. No. Rowan. My name sounds like a warning, like a plea. I won't be able to stop myself. I force my legs to stay steady, even though my instincts are screaming at me to run. Then don't stop yourself. I can handle it. You don't understand what you're saying. I understand perfectly. You're going into RUT. You need someone here. That someone is me. I keep my voice level, casual, like we're discussing the weather and not the fact that he looks 2 seconds away from tearing this room apart. Besides, I already told Marcus I'd survive this. I'd really hate to make him right about the whole sacrificial lamb thing. His hands clench and unclench at his sides. This isn't funny. I'm not laughing. You should be terrified. You keep saying that. I take a deliberate step closer, watching his entire body go rigid. But here's the thing, Your Highness. I've spent 6 months watching you pretend you're fine when you're clearly not. I've seen you sit by that window like you're waiting for someone to remember you exist. And you know what? I'm tired of it. His jaw clenches. You don't know anything about me. I know you hate eggs, but eat them anyway because you don't want to be difficult. I know you read the same book 3 times last month because you couldn't focus on anything new. I know you haven't had a real conversation with anyone in this pack except Marcus, and even that's just logistics. I tilt my head studying him. I know you're lonely. Something flickers across his face. Shock, maybe, or pain. Stop! The word comes out raw. Why? Because I'm right? Because you're making this harder. Good. I let a slow smile curve my lips. I'd hate to make things easy for you. He stares at me like I've lost my mind. And maybe I have. Because any sane person would be backing toward the door right now, not antagonizing an Enigma in pre-RUT. But I've never been particularly sane. You're infuriating, he mutters, dragging a hand through his hair. The movement makes his scent spike again, and I have to bite the inside of my cheek to keep my expression neutral. I've been called worse. I don't doubt it. Despite everything, despite the tension crackling between us like static electricity, I almost laugh. Was that a joke? Did the terrifying Enigma Prince just make a joke? Don't what? Don't humanize me. His voice drops and suddenly he looks exhausted, worn down. It'll make this worse. I take another step closer, close enough now that I can see the fine tremor running through his hands, the way his breathing is getting more erratic. Make what worse? Hurting you. You're not going to hurt me. You can't know that. Actually, I can. I reach up and tap my temple. I've got pretty good instincts, and my instincts are telling me you're more scared of yourself than I am of you. His eyes narrow. Your instincts are going to get you killed. My instincts have kept me alive this long. That was before you walked into a room with me. I shrug, injecting as much nonchalance into the gesture as I can manage. Guess we'll see who's right in 72 hours. He makes a sound that's half laugh, half growl. You're insane. So you've mentioned. I glance around the room, deliberately breaking eye contact to give him a moment to breathe. So, what's the plan here? Do you have a routine? Things you need? Or do we just wing it and hope for the best? There is no plan. His voice is strained. The plan was for no one to be here. Well, surprise. A plot twist. This isn't a game, Rowan. I never said it was. I turn back to him, and this time I let a little bit of the truth slip through. Look, I get it. You're used to being alone. You're used to people being afraid of you. But I'm here now, and I'm not leaving. So we might as well figure out how to make this work. He's quiet for a long moment, just watching me with those storm gray eyes like he's trying to solve an equation that doesn't add up. Then quietly, why? Why what? Why would you do this? Risk this? He takes a step toward me, and the air between us feels charged, dangerous. You don't owe me anything. We're nothing to each other. The words land harder than they should. We're nothing to each other. I swallow past the unexpected tightness in my throat and meet his gaze head on. Maybe that's exactly why. His brow furrows. That doesn't make sense, doesn't it? I keep my voice steady, even as my heart pounds against my ribs. Everyone else sees the Enigma Prince, the dangerous one, the unstable one. But me, I'm just the beta servant. I've got nothing to lose and no expectations to meet. So maybe I'm the only one who can actually help. He stares at me, and for a heartbeat, I think he might argue. Instead, his scent flares again, sharper this time, and I watch as the last thread of his control begins to fray. Rowan, my name is a rasp, a warning. You need to stay on that side of the room. Why? Because if you come any closer, he closes his eyes, jaw clenched so hard I can see the muscle jump. I won't be responsible for what happens next. I should listen. I should absolutely listen. But I've never been good at doing what I should. So instead, I take one more step forward, and the world catches fire. He moves so fast I don't even see it coming. 1 second I'm standing in the middle of the room, and the next my back is against the wall, his hand braced beside my head, his body a wall of heat inches from mine. His scent wraps around me like a living thing, so potent I can taste it on my tongue. Pine and winter rain and something darker, something that makes my knees weak. Not the time, Rowan. Really not the time. I told you. His voice is barely human now, all gravel and growl. I told you to stay back. My heart is trying to break out of my chest, but I force myself to look up, to meet those storm gray eyes that are now almost black. And I told you I can handle it. You can't. His free hand comes up, fingers curling into a fist against the wall on my other side, trapping me. You have no idea what you're dealing with. Then explain it to me. I can't think right now. The words come out harsh, strained. All I can smell is, God, you smell. He stops himself, jaw clenched so hard I'm worried he'll crack a tooth. Wait. He can smell me? Betas don't have sense. Not like this. Not enough to affect an Enigma and RUT. Unless, oh no, my suppressants. The ones I take every 12 hours without fail to mask my omega scent, to keep my secret buried so deep no one would ever know. I took them this morning. I should be fine. I should be completely undetectable. But enigmas aren't like other dynamics. They're stronger, sharper, more attuned to everything. And in RUT, they can smell through almost anything. Oh no, I need to redirect this, fast. Your Highness, I keep my voice steady, even though my pulse is doing Olympic-level gymnastics. I need you to breathe. I am breathing. His eyes drop to my neck, and I watch his pupils dilate even further. That's the problem. Okay, new plan. How about you back up about 3 feet and we talk about this like rational adults? Rational. He laughs and it sounds almost broken. There's nothing rational about what I want to do to you right now. My stomach does a dangerous flip. Well, that's concerning and also kind of flattering. I'm experiencing a lot of emotions here. His gaze snaps back to mine, and for a second, I see something besides the RUT, something almost like amusement. You're joking. Right now, while I'm 2 seconds away from what? I tilt my head, keeping my tone light even though my heart is racing. Ripping me apart? Devouring me whole? You're going to have to be more specific because I'm getting mixed signals here. Rowan? Cade. His name slips out before I can stop it. Not Your Highness, not Prince Thorn, just Cade. And the effect is immediate. He goes completely still, his eyes widening just a fraction, like I've said something shocking, something unexpected. No one calls me that, he says quietly. Well, I just did. Sue me. They call me Your Highness, or Prince Thorn, or... He swallows hard. Nothing at all. The rawness in his voice catches me off guard. This isn't the Enigma and RUT talking anymore. This is just him. The guy who sits by the window and reads the same book 3 times because he's too lonely to focus on anything new. That's depressing, I say softly. You deserve better than that. I'm an enigma. I'm dangerous. You're a person. You're allowed to have a name. He stares at me like I've just said something in a foreign language. Then slowly, carefully, he pulls back. Not all the way, just enough that I can breathe without his scent drowning me. You should hate me, he murmurs. Everyone else does. I don't hate you. I don't even know you. Exactly. You don't know what I've done, what I'm capable of. So tell me. He shakes his head and I watch something close off behind his eyes. It doesn't matter. It does to me. Why? The question comes out almost desperate. Why do you care? I could lie. I could deflect with another joke, another sassy comment that keeps things surface level and safe. But something about the way he's looking at me, like he's waiting for me to confirm every terrible thing he believes about himself, makes me tell the truth instead. Because you're lonely, I say quietly, and I know what that feels like. The silence that follows is so complete I can hear my own heartbeat. Then his scent shifts, still potent, still overwhelming, but the sharp edge of aggression dulls just slightly, like he's pulling it back through sheer force of will. You need to go to the other room, he says finally, his voice rough but more controlled. Lock the door. Don't come out until morning. What about you? I'll manage. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. He steps back fully now, putting distance between us. I can see the effort it takes, the way his hands are shaking. Please, Rowan. Just go. I should argue, I should stay, but I can also see he's hanging on by a thread, and pushing him right now might snap it completely. So I move toward the bedroom door, slowly, keeping my eyes on him the entire time. If you need anything, I say, pausing at the threshold, I'm right here. Just knock. He doesn't answer. He's too busy staring at the floor, every muscle in his body tense with restraint. I slip into the bedroom and close the door behind me, turning the lock with a soft click. Then I lean back against it, close my eyes, and try to remember how to breathe. On the other side of the door, I hear him move, pacing maybe, or just trying to hold himself together. And I realize with startling clarity that this is going to be the longest 72 hours of my life. Not because I'm afraid of him, but because I'm starting to care about him, and that's infinitely more dangerous. I push off the door and scan the bedroom. It's sparse, almost impersonal. A bed with dark sheets, a dresser, a single chair by another barred window that overlooks the mountains. No photos, no personal items. Nothing that says anyone actually lives here. It looks like a cell. A really nice cell, but still. I move to the window and press my palm against the glass. It's cold. Outside, the last traces of sunset are bleeding into twilight, painting the sky in shades of violet and charcoal. Beautiful and lonely, just like everything else about this place. Behind me, through the door, I hear him, still pacing. His footsteps are uneven, restless. Every few seconds, there's a low sound, something between a growl and a breath. Like he's fighting himself with every step. My chest tightens. I shouldn't care this much. I barely know him. 6 months of serving breakfast and changing sheets doesn't make us anything to each other. He said it himself. We're nothing to each other. Except that's not quite true anymore, is it? I'm about to turn away from the window when something on the dresser catches my eye. A book. The same one I've seen him reading over and over. The spine is cracked, pages dog-eared. I pick it up, running my thumb over the worn cover. The Little Prince, of all things. I flip it open to a random page, and a folded piece of paper falls out. I catch it before it hits the floor, and curiosity gets the better of me. I shouldn't read it. It's private. None of my business, but my hands are already unfolding it. The handwriting is messy, rushed, like someone wrote it in a hurry, or in pain. Kate, I'm sorry. I know you'll never forgive me for this, but I can't do it anymore. I can't watch you become something you're not. Something they made you into. You asked me once if I was afraid of you. I lied. I said no. The truth is, I'm terrified, not of what you are, but of what they're turning you into. The isolation, the training, the way they look at you like you're a weapon instead of a person. I thought I could help you. I thought if I stayed, if I loved you enough, it would be enough. But it's not. And I can't save you. I'm leaving tonight. Don't try to find me. I'm sorry, Ethan. The paper crumples slightly in my grip. Ethan. I know that name. Everyone in the pack knows that name. Ethan Rourke. The beta who volunteered to stay with Cade during his first RUT after the Enigma presentation. The one who was supposed to be immune, supposed to be safe. The one who disappeared 3 years ago. They said he ran away, that he couldn't handle it, that the Enigma Prince broke him somehow, even though betas aren't supposed to be affected. But this letter, this doesn't sound like someone who was broken. This sounds like someone who was heartbroken. Someone who loved Cade and couldn't save him from whatever the pack was doing to him. What they're turning you into. My stomach twists. I refold the letter carefully and slip it back into the book, setting it down exactly where I found it. Then I hear it, a crash from the other room, something heavy hitting the floor. Then silence. My heart lurches into my throat. Cade! I move to the door, pressing my ear against it. You okay out there? Nothing. Your Highness, if you don't answer me in the next 3 seconds, I'm opening this door. Still nothing. Damn it. I unlock the door and ease it open, peering into the main room. He's on the floor, on his knees, head bowed, hands pressed flat against the hardwood, like he's trying to anchor himself to something solid. And his scent, God, his scent is everywhere, thick and suffocating and laced with something that smells like anguish. Cade. I step into the room, pulling the door almost closed behind me, but not locking it, just in case. Talk to me. I told you to stay in there. His voice is wrecked, raw. Yeah, well, I'm terrible at following instructions. It's kind of my thing. He doesn't laugh, doesn't even look up. I crouch down a few feet away from him, close enough to see the tremor running through his shoulders, but far enough that I'm not crowding him. What happened? Nothing. Everything. He drags a hand through his hair, gripping it hard enough that it has to hurt. I can't do this. Can't do what? This. Any of this. He finally looks at me, and the expression on his face guts me. It's not anger. It's not aggression. It's just exhaustion, defeat. I shouldn't have let you stay. I knew it was a mistake. Why? Because everyone who gets close to me ends up leaving. The words come out flat, matter of fact, like he's stated an immutable law of the universe. And you will too. You don't know that. I do. He laughs, bitter and broken. Ethan did. My parents did. And even my own pack keeps me locked away like some kind of monster they're too afraid to deal with, but too guilty to kill. There it is, the wound underneath everything else. Ethan left because he loved you, I say quietly. His head snaps up, eyes wide. What? I found his letter, in your book. I hold up a hand before he can get angry. I know. Invasion of privacy. Add it to the list of stupid things I've done today. But I read it, and he didn't leave because you broke him. He left because he couldn't watch them break you. Cade stares at me like I've just ripped open something he spent years trying to keep buried. That's not... He stops, swallows hard. That's not what happened. Isn't it? He left because I scared him, because I lost control and he saw what I really am. And what are you? A monster. The word hangs in the air between us, heavy and final. I meet his eyes and say the truest thing I've said all night. No, you're not. His expression cracks, just slightly. And before either of us can say anything else, his scent spikes again, sharper than before. The rut is hitting full force now, and this time, there's nowhere left to run. His scent floods the room, thick and wild and so overwhelming I can feel it in my bones. Every instinct I have is screaming at me to move, to put distance between us, to lock myself back in that bedroom and pray the door holds. But I don't move, because Cade is still on his knees staring at me like I'm the only thing keeping him tethered to reality, and walking away right now feels like abandonment. Ew, Rowan. My name is barely a whisper. You need to go, please. Stop asking me to leave. I can't control it anymore. His hands are shaking. His whole body is shaking. If you stay, You'll what? I shift closer, just an inch. Testing. Talk to me. Tell me what you need. I need you to be safe. I am safe. No, you're not. His eyes are wild now, pupils blown so wide there's barely any gray left. You don't understand. The rut, it makes everything sharper, stronger. And your scent, it's... He stops himself, jaw clenched. It's what? Everywhere. The word comes out like a confession, like something he shouldn't be saying. I shouldn't be able to smell you this clearly. You're a beta. You shouldn't have a scent that affects him. Right. Time to make a choice, Rowan. I keep lying and risk him losing control completely, or tell the truth and risk everything else. I take a breath. I'm not a beta. The silence that follows is deafening. Cade goes completely still, his eyes locked on mine. What? I'm an omega. The words taste strange coming out. I haven't said them out loud in years. I've been on suppressants since I was 16. Heavy-duty ones. They mask everything. Scent, heat, all of it. I'm supposed to be undetectable. Supposed to be. Yeah. I run a hand through my hair, letting out a shaky laugh. Turns out Enigmas and RUT are better at sniffing out secrets than I thought. He's staring at me like I've just told him the sky is green. You've been lying this whole time. Yep. Why? Because Omegas don't get to be servants in the East Wing. They don't get access to the Enigma Prince. They're too valuable, too protected, I shrug, breakable. But betas are invisible, unremarkable. I needed to be unremarkable. Why? He asks again, and this time there's something desperate in his voice. Why would you risk this? I could lie again, deflect, keep my cards close to my chest, but I'm so tired of lying. Because I wanted to see if the rumors were true, I say quietly. Everyone talks about you like you're this monster, this dangerous, unstable thing that needs to be locked away. And I kept thinking, what if they're wrong? What if you're just someone who's never been given a chance to be anything else? His breath catches. That's the stupidest reason I've ever heard. I know. You could have been hurt. Killed. I know that too. And you came anyway. Yeah. I meet his eyes, letting him see the truth in mine. I came anyway. He stares at me for a long moment, something shifting behind his expression. Then slowly, carefully, he reaches out. His hand hovers in the air between us, fingers trembling. Can I? The question is so soft I almost miss it. I nod. His hand settles against the side of my face, palm warm against my cheek. His touch is gentle, reverent, like I'm something precious he's afraid of breaking. You're real, he whispers. You're actually real. Last time I checked, yeah. A ghost of a smile crosses his face. Everyone else keeps their distance. Even when they were in the same room, they don't look at me. Not really, they look through me. Or past me. Like if they don't acknowledge me, I'll stop existing. My chest tightens. That sounds lonely. It is. His thumb brushes across my cheekbone, and I watch his expression soften. But you see me. Of course I do. You're right in front of me. No, I mean... He pauses, searching for words. You see me, not the Enigma, not the Prince. Just Cade. Something warm and fragile unfurls in my chest, and before I can stop myself, I reach up and cover his hand with mine. You deserve to be seen, I say quietly. You deserve to have a name. His eyes close and I watch a shudder run through him. When he opens them again, there's something raw and vulnerable in his gaze that makes my heart ache. I don't know how to do this, he admits. How to let someone in. It's been so long since anyone. Then we'll figure it out together. Together. He repeats the word like he's testing the weight of it. I like how that sounds. Good, because you're stuck with me for the next 72 hours, so you better get used to it. He laughs, and it's soft and genuine, and so completely different from the broken sound from earlier. You're infuriating. So you've mentioned. I lean into his touch, just slightly. But you haven't kicked me out yet, so I must be doing something right. You are. His voice drops, becoming almost tender. You're doing everything right. The air between us shifts, still charged, still electric, but gentler now, less dangerous. His scent is still potent, still everywhere. But I reach for my power and smooth the sharp edges. I dial down the urgency just enough that he can breathe through it. He notices. I can see it in the way his shoulders relax, the way his breathing evens out just a fraction. What are you doing? He asks, wonder threading through his voice. Helping, I say simply. That's what I'm here for, remember? How? Trade secret. I flash him a small smile. Let's just say I'm full of surprises. I'm starting to realize that. He's still holding my face, still looking at me like I'm something miraculous. And for one perfect moment, everything feels possible, safe, right. Then his scent spikes again, harder this time, and I watch his expression shift. The gentleness is still there, but underneath it, something else is building, something neither of us can stop. And I realize with startling clarity that this fragile, this beautiful moment, it won't last. His hand tightens against my face just slightly, and I feel the tremor in his fingers. The control he's been clinging to is fraying thread by thread, and we both know it. Rowan, his voice is strained, caught between human and something else. I need to tell you something. Okay. I keep my voice steady, even though my heart is starting to race for entirely different reasons now. I'm listening. He pulls back, just enough to put space between us, and I immediately miss his warmth. He runs both hands through his hair, gripping hard, and I watch him struggle to find words. The pack, he starts, then stops. Tries again. They knew. My stomach drops. Knew what? That you're an Omega. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. What? Marcus, the council. They've known for months. His voice is rough, guilty. Your suppressants are good, but they're not perfect. They ran a background check when you applied for the position. Found your medical records. I can't breathe. Can't think. That's not possible. Those records are sealed. They're supposed to be. They have connections. Resources. He won't look at me now. They knew exactly what you were when they hired you. Why? The word comes out barely above a whisper. Why would they? Because they wanted to see if it would work. Finally, he meets my eyes, and the guilt there is crushing. If an Omega could stabilize an Enigma during RUT, they've been trying for years to find a way to manage me, control me, make me useful instead of just dangerous. The room tilts. So this whole time, I step back, needing distance, needing air. This whole time I was what? An experiment? Rowan? Don't. I hold up a hand and I'm shaking. I'm actually shaking. How long have you known? He flinches. Since last week. Marcus told me they were sending someone who might actually be able to help. He said it was a beta volunteer, but when I asked for more details, Cade's jaw clenches. He told me the truth, that you were an Omega on suppressants, that you didn't know they knew, and you just went along with it? My voice is rising now, anger cutting through the shock. You knew I thought I was making a choice, and you said nothing? I wanted to tell you, but you didn't. I'm shouting now, and I don't care. You stood there and let me volunteer. Let me walk into this room thinking I was being brave. Thinking I was helping when really I was just. I laugh, bitter and sharp. God, I'm so stupid. You're not stupid. No, I am. I actually thought. I stopped myself because finishing that sentence will hurt too much. It doesn't matter what I thought. It matters to me. Does it? I turn on him, and I can feel tears burning behind my eyes, but I refuse to let them fall. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you needed someone to test your theory on, and I was convenient. That's not. He takes a step toward me, and I take two back. Don't come near me. Rowan, please, just listen. Listen to what? More lies. I'm breathing hard now, my chest tight with anger and hurt and betrayal. Tell me something. Did you know from the beginning? When I walked in here 6 months ago, did you look at me and think, perfect? On an Omega who doesn't know we're using him? No, I didn't know until last week, I swear. But you knew when I walked in here today. You knew when you tried to warn me away. You knew when you told me to leave. The pieces are clicking together now, each one more painful than the last. Every time you told me to go, you weren't trying to protect me. You were feeling guilty. I was trying to protect you. His voice cracks. I didn't want this. I didn't want them to use you like this. But I also. He stops, something breaking across his face. I also wanted you to stay, because for the first time in 3 years, someone was looking at me like I wasn't a monster. And I knew it was selfish. I knew it was wrong. But you wanted it anyway. I finish for him, and my voice is hollow now, empty. even though you knew the choice wasn't really mine. I'm sorry. The words are barely audible. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I wrap my arms around myself, suddenly cold despite the heat of his rut still saturating the air. You let me believe I was choosing this, that I was here because I wanted to be, but it was all just, what, manipulation? A setup? I wanted to tell you, I tried to make you leave before what? Before I got attached? I laugh again, and it sounds broken even to my own ears. Too late for that. His eyes widen. Rowan, don't. I shake my head, backing toward the bedroom door. Just don't. Where are you going? Away from you. I grab the door handle, and my hand is shaking so badly I can barely turn it. I need to think. The doors are locked. His voice is quiet, defeated. You can't leave until the rut breaks. That's the protocol. Right. 72 hours. 72 hours trapped in here with someone who lied to me, who let me believe I had control when I never did. Then I guess we're both stuck. I pull the door open. But that doesn't mean I have to talk to you. Rowan, please, let me explain. There's nothing to explain. I meet his eyes one last time, and I let him see everything I'm feeling. The hurt, the anger, the betrayal. You knew the truth and you chose to hide it. That's all I need to know. I step into the bedroom and close the door between us. This time I lock it. And on the other side, I hear him make a sound that's half growl, half sob. But I don't open the door. I slide down to the floor, aim back against the wood, and finally let the tears fall. Because the worst part isn't that they used me. The worst part is that I was starting to fall for him. And now I don't know if anything we shared was real. The tears come hot and fast, and I press the heels of my hands against my eyes like I can physically stop them. Crying on the floor of a locked bedroom while an Enigma in RUT paces on the other side of the door wasn't exactly on my vision board for this year. But here we are. I can hear him out there. His footsteps are uneven, restless. Every few seconds there's a low sound, something between a growl and a groan, and I know his rut is tearing him apart while I'm in here falling apart for completely different reasons. They knew. The pack knew what I was and hired me anyway. Watched me for 6 months. Well, let me think I was invisible, unremarkable, safe. And all the while they were just waiting to see if their little experiment would work. And Cade knew. He knew for a week and said nothing. I pull my knees to my chest and rest my forehead against them, trying to breathe through the tightness in my throat. Part of me wants to hate him, wants to hold on to this anger like a shield, let it protect me from whatever feelings were starting to grow beneath it. But the other part keeps remembering the way he touched my face, the gentleness, the wonder in his voice when he said, "You see me," the loneliness in his eyes when he talked about Ethan. God, I'm such an idiot. I reach for my power, that quiet hum inside me, and before I can stop myself, I push it outward. Not to manipulate or control, just to feel. Emotional empathy isn't something I talk about. It's too weird, too invasive. But right now I need to know. I need to know if any of it was real. The moment my power touches him, I'm hit with a wave of emotion so intense it steals my breath. Guilt. Sharp and suffocating, like he's drowning in it. Desperation. Raw and aching. And underneath it all, threaded through everything else. Longing. Not the primal, rut-driven kind. This is deeper. Softer. The kind of longing that comes from years of isolation. From wanting something so badly you're terrified to reach for it, because you know it'll be ripped away. He wants me to stay. Not because the pack told him to. Not because I'm some experiment or test subject. He wants me to stay because for the first time in 3 years, he felt like he wasn't alone. And the anger in my chest cracks, just a little. Damn it. I wipe my eyes with the back of my hand and take a shaky breath. Okay. He lied. Or he didn't tell me the truth, which is basically the same thing. And that hurts. It hurts a lot. But he also tried to make me leave. Multiple times. Even knowing what the pack wanted, even knowing I might be the answer to whatever problem they were trying to solve, he still tried to protect me. That has to count for something, right? Or maybe you're just making excuses because you don't want to admit you've already fallen for him. I groan and let my head fall back against the door with a soft thunk. You're thinking too loud. I freeze. His voice is right there, on the other side of the door, close enough that if the wood wasn't between us, I could reach out and touch him. How long have you been sitting there, I ask, and my voice is rough from crying. Since you locked the door. Of course he has. Are you okay? The question slips out before I can stop it, and I immediately want to take it back. He doesn't deserve my concern right now. Except, maybe he does. No, he says quietly. I'm really not. I close my eyes. Join the club. Silence stretches between us, heavy and uncomfortable. Then, I should have told you. The moment you walked in here, I should have told you the truth. His voice is raw, stripped of everything except honesty. But I was selfish. I needed someone to choose me. Not because they were ordered to, not because of duty or obligation, just because they wanted to. My chest tightens. You wanted me to choose you, I say slowly. But you didn't give me all the information to make that choice. I know. That's not fair, Cade. I know that too. There's a pause, then a soft thud, like he's leaned his head against the door. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I don't deserve that. I'm sorry for all of it. I sit there letting his words settle over me like snow. He's right. He should have told me. I deserve to know. But I also understand why he didn't. When you've been alone as long as he has, when everyone looks at you like you're a monster or a weapon or a problem to be solved, the idea of someone choosing you freely must feel like a miracle. And miracles are terrifying because they can be taken away. Can I ask you something? I keep my voice low. Anything. When you looked at me today, when you touched my face and said I see you, was that real? The silence that follows is so long I start to think he's not going to answer. Then, it was the most real thing I've felt in 3 years. Something in my chest loosens. Not completely. The hurt is still there, still raw. But underneath it, there's something else. Something that feels almost like understanding. I'm still mad at you, I say. You should be. And I don't know if I can trust you again. I understand. But I swallow hard. I also don't want to spend the next 72 hours hating you. That sounds exhausting, and honestly, I'm already tired. I hear him let out a breath that might be relief or disbelief or both. So what do we do? He asks. I think about it, really think about it. Then I stand up, my legs stiff from sitting on the floor, and unlock the door. I don't open it. Not yet. We start over, I say to the wood between us. No lies, no secrets, just honesty, even if it's ugly. Okay. And you have to promise me something. Anything. If I stay, if I choose to stay, not because the pack wants me to, but because I want to, you have to actually let me in. The real you, not the Enigma Prince, not the monster everyone thinks you are. Just Cade. Another long pause. Then the door handle turns from the other side. I step back as it swings open. And there he is. He looks wrecked, hair disheveled, eyes red-rimmed like he's been crying too, and his whole body is trembling with the effort of holding himself together. But he's also looking at me like I'm the only thing in the world that matters. Hi, I say, because apparently my brain has decided that's an appropriate thing to say in this moment. A ghost of a smile crosses his face. Hi. We stand there separated by 3 feet and everything that's been said, and I realize this is it. This is the moment where I decide, stay or go, trust or walk away, choose him or choose safety. Except it's not really a choice anymore, is it? Because somewhere between serving him breakfast and sitting on his floor reading Ethan's letter, between watching him try to protect me from himself and feeling the loneliness that radiates off him like cold, I already chose. I'm terrified, I admit quietly. of this, of you, of what it means if I stay. I'm terrified too. His voice is raw, honest. I'm terrified I'll hurt you, that I'll disappoint you, that you'll realize I'm exactly what everyone says I am and leave like everyone else. And if I don't leave, his breath catches, then I'll spend every day proving that your choice wasn't a mistake. The sincerity in his voice breaks something open in my chest. I take a step forward, then another, until I'm close enough to feel the heat radiating off his skin, close enough that his scent wraps around me like a living thing. I need you to promise me something else, I say, looking up at him. Okay. Promise me that when this is over, when the rut breaks and reality comes back, you won't regret this. You won't regret me. His eyes widen, and then he's cupping my face with both hands, holding me like I'm something precious. Rowan, I could never regret you. You don't know that. Yes. When I do, his thumb brushes across my cheekbone, and I lean into the touch without thinking. You walked into my life and saw me, the real me, not the title, not the danger, just me. Do you have any idea how rare that is? Pretty rare, I'm guessing. Impossibly rare. His voice drops to barely a whisper. You're impossibly rare. And then he kisses me. It's soft, tentative, like he's asking a question instead of making a claim. And I answer by wrapping my arms around his neck and pulling him closer. The kiss deepens, and suddenly we're not tentative anymore. His hands slide into my hair, tilting my head back, and I make a sound that's half gasp, half moan. His scent explodes around us, thick and intoxicating. But instead of overwhelming me, it feels right, like coming home. I reach for my power and let it flow between us. I'm smoothing the sharp edges of his rut, easing the desperation, leaving only the want, the need, the connection. He pulls back just enough to rest his forehead against mine, both of us breathing hard. What are you doing to me? He murmurs. Helping, I manage, and maybe kissing you. It's a multitasking situation. He laughs, and it's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. Then his expression shifts, becoming serious, vulnerable. I want to bond with you, not because the pack expects it, not because of the rut, but because he swallows hard, because I'm falling for you, and I don't want to stop. My heart does a complicated series of acrobatics in my chest. That's really inconvenient timing, I say, but I'm smiling, considering I'm also falling for you, and it's absolutely terrifying. We can be terrified together. That's the worst pickup line I've ever heard. I'm new at this. Give me a break. I pull him down for another kiss, and this time there's no hesitation, no holding back, just us tangled together, choosing each other despite everything. When we finally break apart, I'm dizzy and breathless, and so completely gone for this man, it's ridiculous. So, I say, trying to sound casual even though my heart is racing, bonding, that's a pretty big deal. Huge deal. Permanent. Very permanent. And you're sure about this? About me? He looks at me with such intensity it steals my breath. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Okay then, I take a breath. Let's do this. But fair warning, if you get weird about it later, I'm going to be really annoying about reminding you this was your idea. I wouldn't expect anything less. He leans down, and I tilt my head to the side, exposing my neck. The gesture feels both natural and terrifying, like standing at the edge of a cliff and choosing to jump. But I trust him. Against all logic, against all reason, I trust him. His lips brush against the curve where my neck meets my shoulder, and I feel his breath hot against my skin. Last chance to change your mind, he whispers. Not a chance. And then he bites down. The sensation is electric, shooting through my entire body like lightning. It's pleasure and pain and connection all rolled into one overwhelming moment. I can feel him, his emotions flooding into me through the bond. And it's beautiful and terrifying, and so completely right I want to cry. Loneliness, sharp and aching from years of isolation. Hope, fragile and new. Love growing stronger with every heartbeat, and underneath it all, a fierce, protective devotion that takes my breath away. When he pulls back, his eyes are wide with wonder. I can feel you. I know. It's weird, right? It's perfect. He kisses me again, soft and sweet. You're perfect. I'm really not, but I appreciate the sentiment. He laughs and pulls me against his chest, and I let myself melt into his warmth. Outside, the sun is starting to rise, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. 72 hours left, but for the first time since I walked into this room, I'm not counting down. I'm just here, with him, exactly where I chose to be. Hey, Cade? Yeah? For the record, I'm glad I volunteered. His arms tighten around me. Me too. And in that moment, wrapped in his arms with the bond humming between us like a promise, I realized something. They told me the Enigma Prince would tear me apart. They were right. He did. And then he put me back together into something stronger, into someone who chose love over fear, into someone who belongs.